23rd, 2020, and tonight's meeting is of the Wolfeboro Budget Committee. And tonight we're going to talk about the library, fire and rescue, and the public safety building. I'm going to read a couple of things first. Due to the COVID-19 coronavirus crisis, in accordance with the Governor's News Emergency Order Number 12, pursuant to Executive Order Number 2020-04, this board is authorizing the electronic. However, the committee adjourned decided to proceed with a hybrid meeting for allowing for members of the public to attend and participate in meetings in person or virtually. In accordance with RSA 91-8:23, the board has 3 members during the meeting only, which is what the board is authorized to allow. At this time, I would like to take a roll call vote of all members present. For those participating virtually, please indicate why your hand is not necessary time to go. And who is in the room? Okay, Matt Clancy here. Brian Black. John Burt. Here. Bob Lohman. Here. Bob Tuffer.
I'm here. I'm home in a room by myself, and I'm a high-risk candidate, and that's why I opted to remain hybrid.
Okay, and John McDonald is here, and he's present at the meeting. Right now we've got Tom Bell and Bob Mulholland. They'll be excused from the meeting. And we're still waiting for Steve Johnson. Okay, votes taken during this meeting will be a roll call vote for our members in accordance with Order 12 for members of the public. This is to confirm that the providing public access to meeting the telephone. There are additional access responsibilities by video or other electronic meetings through GoToMeeting. All members of the public and the board have the ability to communicate comfortably during the meeting through the GoToMeeting platform. And the public has access to continue to listen and necessary to participate in this meeting regarding the following phone number: 1-646-749-3122, followed by the audio access code of 918-242-429. By video following directions on the town local website posted on the homepage and the virtual town hall meeting login information. Providing public notice of missing information or accepting the meeting, the previous meeting notice to the public of allowed to access the meeting in person by using GoToMeeting and then the instructions provided on the town local website at Wolfeboro.New.US on the virtual town meeting login information page. Providing information to the public who lives in public audience meeting if there is a problem with access. Anybody to call, accessing the meeting, the telephone, computer, please immediately call 603-486-2692, email hcndrson.leann@gmail.com. In the event that the public is unable to access the meeting, we'll adjourn the meeting and have to reschedule at a later time. Okay, before we start, Mr. Town Manager, do you have anything?
At this time, I know, Mr. Chairman, just as we get into the library budget to begin with, I'd like to thank the trustees of the library. I'd like to thank Cindy for bringing together a great budget. They are recognizing a 3.14% increase in their operating budget, or $15,106. The trustees have worked on this budget as well with Cindy. The only other item that I'd like to mention, there's a possibility as we get closer to the end of the budget reviews, Cindy and I are still working on potentially a capital outlay item that you may see coming in front of you. Other than that, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have at this point regarding the library budget.
Thank you, Mr. Town Manager.
Okay, so we got that in the report that you provided this evening. The library budget.
The library budget is in your books.
Cindy, can you give us a little update on what's going on in the library?
Sure. We have not had it all the year we expected to have. And ultimately, we ended up between construction and the COVID issue being closed about 4 months out of the year. So some of that, we also had curbside service. This did allow us, being closed, to get most of the boxes that we had in storage offsite emptied out. We still have maybe 10 boxes left to go through. And it allowed us to get the genealogy and local history room set up, something we were not anticipating be able to work on at all until 2021. We reopened in June, and people have been very pleased to be able to come in the library, and we're very cautious and careful, social distancing, regular cleaning. We've slowly increased the number of meeting spaces that people can use, but we're limiting it pretty dramatically to daytime use, and some of the rooms it's one use per day, so we can completely clean it. You know, obviously there's been a lot of adjustments. Our circulation is down some, but we are finding as we move more and more into the fall that more people are coming in to use the computers and to get materials for their use at home. They are not sitting in the building as much as they were, but we do still have some people who use the high-speed internet. There's a lot more people coming in and getting a big stack of books instead of coming in every week. They're coming in once every 3 weeks. And so it's shifting patterns right now. We'll see what happens in the next year, and at the end of this year we will be doing the full statistics for the year, and we'll see how we did. Though obviously we have not had normal years probably in a couple of years because the construction started in 2018. So didn't help having everything happen that happened this year, but we are getting quite a bit done and moving forward on what we can move forward on.
Thank you, Cindy, for the update. Okay, let's look at the 100 series. Tell management, did you reflect the raises?
These do reflect the wage adjustments at 2%, as calculated by the Board of Selectmen, as well as
The retirement, we sent that back to Cindy for review, and we're in agreement with the numbers.
Okay, thank you. 200 series.
Yes, sir. Outside services, what that is. I'm not questioning the amount, I'm just wondering what's in it.
Okay, so outside services is alarm system monitoring, cloud email services, high-speed internet services, wireless hosting, QuickBooks services, website hosting services, criminal background checks, and technology management services.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, 400. 700. And that's it for Oliver. Does anyone have any questions or city wants to hear?
I'd like to get a question on the electric line. So it goes back forward. It looks like you're increasing. What's that about?
Well, the estimates that we got from both the consultant and the architect was an understatement. So what we have found is that we're using more electricity than they predicted, but we also haven't had a full year of normalization of the system. So we're giving our best estimate of where it's going to work out. So we felt we needed to put more money in there because we've already spent the entire electric budget that was budgeted for 2020. And some of we've had electric bills ranging from $400 a month to over $2,000 a month. So we have to wait and see exactly where we are with the system running it a full year. We're pretty comfortable with where we are with air conditioning running, but we don't really have normal numbers for winter because we were still under construction for most of the winter numbers.
And as just as a little bit of background information, if you're not aware, they stepped away from oil heat and transition pumps.
Okay, any other questions for Cindy?
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Just to put you may see Cindy come back in front of you late in one of the last later
rounds regarding a capital outlay, but Cindy and I are continuing to strategize that right now, but you may see a capital outlay coming from.
Okay.
You can pick the fire sheet in against someplace? Fire sheet online? Let's do the public safety going. Chief, did you put a new roof on that building this year?
We put a roof on both stations this year, yes.
Okay, 400 series. What's the increase in the building maintenance? What's that for?
There's a number of things that fall under building maintenance. As far as what the actual increase is, some of it has to do with security, increasing security at the dispatch center, and making it possible for the public to access the building without coming inside during periods that we're in right now. And actually in general, particularly after hours with We installed an intercom, but we need to do electric door lock. And we're interested in putting an awning up over the door so if someone from the public comes in, they're not standing out in the rain until somebody can go out and help them. We're changing some doors around to increase security in the lobby area. Some general repairs and maintenance, and then the rest of it is things that we've had in the past: building cleaning, pest control, entrance rugs, and the fire alarm service.
Okay, because it's up just shy of $7,000, 42% from last year. Which one of these lines we've got broken down as new from last year? That wasn't just last year.
The security pad for the apparatus bay door, the front entrance remote lock system, the lobby security door, the awning, paint are all new items. Some increased cleaning too. Cost, our cleaning contractor cost went up.
Thank you.
Some of these items we may be able to, we don't know for certain, but we may be reimbursable under the emergency, the COVID.
Quite high, so I don't know if we ended up with a allocation problem with that, but if you look at the historical numbers, we tend to be pretty close to where we need to be based on the budgeting numbers that we received from propane.
John, I have.
Yes, sir.
Does this also include this big station out by North Line Road?
No, it does not. That's included in the fire rescue operating budget.
Thank you.
This is propane just for the public safety building. I couldn't hear you say it again.
I'm just looking at the number
requested for next year, and it's a lot lower than what you spent this year. And I'm wondering what the reason is for why it's so much higher than was budgeted this year, and you know, it's a lot higher than what you're asking for next year.
The amount that we're requesting, most of the change comes in those projects that we just ticked off, and that's really a matter of whether or not, that's really, I think, the biggest difference.
Well, I was talking about the propane specifically.
So when it came to things like the utilities, we were given guidance, from town hall on what per gallon usage should be based on the contracts, and we basically followed those directions.
I think they nailed the number on their average. I'm actually pulling it up right now to see
how much had been expended year to date, but based on their average, it's pretty much right on. I just can't see any anomaly this year.
We're also going into the heating season too right now. So we switched over to the heating season, so we use, this month, and next month.
So this is a one-time anomaly, you think?
Do I think it's a one-time? I think, the amount of money in the building maintenance, I tried to do it based on what the actual projected costs were. If you're on the propane, it would depend on what our contract was.
I think the question is the expenditures to date this year is still out of bounds with everything else. That was, I think, the question, Chief. $11,305 compared to around 5 to 6 historically.
Is this? I'm just wondering if this is misallocated money someplace, if there's an error in that actual number or what.
I have to take a look at it. I don't know.
Okay, thanks. It's not a big deal, but I just, if there is a misallocation someplace, we need to get a hold of it.
Hold on just a second.
I mean, we're seeing a reduction of 21% over, based on what was approved last year. But there's been a lot more spent than was approved.
Exactly.
So,
and I'm just wondering if that's an accounting issue rather than an actual issue.
Point. It's a good question, yeah.
Opening up right now.
Well, you folks are doing that. I'll do a motion to change the bottom line to $65,000. And if I can get a second, I just put a motion up there to change the bottom line to $65,000.
From 7,500.
Yeah, right. We quickly that change. You look over how much money you can spend over the last couple of years. 2019, you get $2,934. That's about $4,000 on the table. Last year, they got $64,003, and it's $56,214, so that's about $8,000 on the table. I think there's sufficient money in the budget to do the work that we want to do. I'm not sure about requirements in drugs for $1,080. I think there's a sufficient amount to carry through the year at last year's level. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so there's general adjustment on the propane.
Year to date expended is $3,495. So there had to be an error entry that the finance director has caught since this sheet has been printed.
That's good.
I think so. I believe he's right on.
Doesn't this depend on the contract that we already had? And is that less than the unit rate? No.
Because we DD, so I think the propane was probably the entry error
Which had occurred, and we printed these books, and since that time, There's been an adjustment made to the propane. I'm gonna assume I can get more clarity on that from the finance director tomorrow. But at this point, I think the chief's budget for propane is spot on to where it's supposed to be, and it looks like he's probably gonna be spot on going forward with what he's gonna be spending.
Jim, I think, if I could, John, I think John Burt's question was, is there a change in the price or change in the quantity? And I think you're saying the price is stayed the same, the contract quantity is in question.
Yeah, so the contractor price is $1.10 for 5,500 gallons.
So it's the Q, not the P.
Well, I think this should be looked into, but I'm getting concerned. In the time that we had, we see a 9% increase in the budget. That's way out of line. I just don't understand going 8-10% on everybody's budget.
We'll get it all figured out.
This is going to be a relook at it.
Well, right now, this is almost the 9 days to reduce the total budget to, was it 54,003 million?
It was a decrease from 70,584 to
65,000. Okay.
I call
Hey,
it
Glenn?
Yes, go ahead.
John?
Go ahead.
Just can we look at the 5-year average on that before we vote?
I'm sorry, I don't have it tonight.
Okay, thank you anyway.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, the motion is to use the bottom line of the public safety building to $65,000. This is a roll call vote. Chief?
Yes.
Brian Black? John Burt?
Yes.
Bob Lohman?
Yes.
Bob Tuffer?
Yes.
And John McConnell votes yes. Which passes, so that now the
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Before we get into that, I just would like to try to explain
Some of the rationale which has occurred in this budget. If you recall last year, we had a pretty in-depth conversation in this meeting with regards to holiday pay for on-duty firefighters, off-duty firefighters, length of service stipends. As a result of that conversation, we created other compensation line, which is line 150. That line 150 makes up the other compensation, meaning holiday pay for on-duty and off-duty staff, and length of service stipends. So you're going to see that adjustment. The other item that you're going to see an adjustment in is the ambulance service, based on a recommendation from our auditors, was moved out into a standalone ambulance line. When they fill out the paperwork with the state, there's actually a line item within that paperwork that goes to the state for ambulance services. And that line has not been traditionally filled out. If the ambulance service were part of the normal day-to-day operations of the fire department, it would be part of the fire department budget. However, it's not. It's just overseen by the fire department. Therefore, based on the recommendation from the auditor, New Hampshire DRA, we moved that out to a standalone budget. We're in the final negotiations of that contract now, so you'll be seeing that coming in front of you in the coming weeks as a contracted service. Short of that, Chief Scanzi and I should be able to hopefully answer any questions you have about the fire rescue budget going forward.
Okay, when do we do emergency management? That's at the start of the...
Answer that much better than I can what the specifics were for those purchases, but I believe it was all COVID related, which we have been reimbursed significantly for.
Okay, any questions on emergency management? Let's just go through fire
We show quite a reduction here, comparing apples and oranges between 2020 and 21. The difference is $240,000. So instead of having a negative about $100,000, we have a positive increase. You follow me? And so, again, we're getting greater than 5-6% increase. Yeah, so as Mr. Burke has said,
you do see in your MuniSmart sheet a significant reduction in this budget. That is not correct for the entire fire rescue budget. And the reason is ambulance services have been moved out, as discussed previously. If you look at the cover sheet in the front of this at the bottom left-hand side, it balances out the 2020 to the 2021 budget. And the actual increase to the fire department budget is $110,487. Now, some of that is related to vehicle maintenance, professional development, retirement, and wages. And I think that we can explain those going forward. I hope that that helps, but I do understand that there are some anomalies within this budget based on moving ambulance service out. Ambulance service, as you see here, is a $256,000 expense.
thank you.
You're very welcome.
So what's the overall percent increase in fire and rescue compared to 2020? So that $110,487 is 6.89%.
And that should be on your cover sheet.
the bottom line, Jim, for the clear that the total budget is $110,487.
That is correct.
Okay, 100 series.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just ask you, I think people are
Hearing you out in the World Wide Web.
Okay, 100 series. Have all the volunteer salaries been included now with the part-time wages? Is that where everything's going now?
Yes.
200 series. Mr. Town Manager, what do you guys spend for medical services the past couple of years?
And I believe in 2019, for ambulance alone, we spent $253,729. In 2020, we spent $256,281. I'm anticipating an increase based on Northeast Region CIP. And then medical services, line 351. Traditionally, that was always part of the 350 line. This is the physicals that are annually required for the staff. This number has been stable for a number of years at 18,400.
So do we know what we usually pay each year, every year? Is that a reliable number, or you should cut that down a little bit? Or?
For physicals?
Yeah.
No, that's a very reliable number. And
It's getting more problematic for the chief to find providers to provide these types of physicals. The other thing is the chief is required to, if somebody's out with an injury, they have to go have a return to duty physical. So this is a pretty solid number.
Okay.
All in all.
Okay, 400 series. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Chief, I'm assuming that you guys have exhaustive records on the maintenance costs for each of your pieces of equipment. Is that correct?
We do. And when I say that, I know that we have one of our officers is the manager of the mechanical division. He keeps very close records of all the vehicles. This year, I asked him to produce a budget that addressed each specific piece of apparatus rather than just a large number for that line item. so that we looked at each vehicle individually and to justify each of the expenses required for them.
I'm also assuming that you've got some history on it, so that builds your history towards the replacement requests that you make on a yearly basis. Is that correct?
The replacement would be based on the years of service, and also the maintenance costs definitely play a role in it. But we're trying to cut down the maintenance costs by doing preventative maintenance and having enough funding available that we can do the recommended maintenance for the vehicles, what the manufacturer recommends, and what we feel is necessary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, back in the series. I just had a question about line 610, Chief. You're combining 610 and 740 together?
That's right. We'll call machinery, and equipment. The other was called general operating supplies. I thought it was confusing. They're really about tools and equipment. And we're working this year toward developing a master plan for all the tools and equipment, so we have a better idea of the needs going forward. That number that is there, the long-range plan would be just the amount that we would ask for in that line would be for specific things, specific projects going forward.
Do you know if you had the last year's total for line 610 and line 740 equal total amount of money?
Same.
$17,050.
Except, yeah.
Five-year average that, John, is
Both lines combined, line 610 and line 740.
there's about 14,000.
740 is 8,800. And 610.
It's 82, 52, 47.
8250. It's the same, John.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. $700 series. $800 series. Chief, who gives the water rescue certification?
Well, it depends which discipline. For the ice rescue, we typically do that through Jerry Dorkin which is a vendor out of Maine. For others, we have used the dive shop here in town. We have used various, sometimes the fire academy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's it for the fire department. We're reading the back of a book with the town manager of the Capitol.
So, same thing here, based on the activity that she's got going on with
Going on in-house with other items. Capital outlay is going to be pushed back a little bit. You will see 2 capital outlay items coming in front of you for the fire department. One for a cardiac monitor to the tune of about $32,000, and motors for the boat, which I believe the chief had budgeted 35,000. But those will come in front of you at a later date.
Does Leanne have a date set aside for capital outlays to be covered? Okay, that's all I have for you, Chief. Do you have any questions? Does anyone in the committee have any questions? Any questions, Chief?
No, just thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. We'll see your capital outlay in the evening, whatever that may be.
Thank you very much.
Okay, do we have anything else, Leanne? November 10th, November 12th, November 16th. Okay, did everyone have a chance to review the minute? First one we'll deal with is November 10th. Does anyone have any changes to November 10th minutes? Hearing none, can I get a motion to accept the November 10th minutes as written?
Where did we get here? Where did we
Okay, once again, it'll be a roll call vote. Matt Planchi?
Yes.
Brian Black? John Burt?
Yes.
Bob Lohman?
Yes.
Bob Tuffer?
Yes.
And John McDonald votes yes. Those are approved. How about November 12th? Any changes for November 12th? Hearing none, can I get a motion to adopt the minutes as the November 12th minutes as written? In a second?
Second.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, this will be a roll call vote. This is to adopt the November 12th, 2020 minutes. Matt Planchi. Brian Black. Okay, John Burt.
Yes.
Bob Lohman.
Yes.
Bob Tuffer.
Yes.
And John McDonald votes yes. Okay, the last one are the November 16th, 2020 minutes. Any changes anyone wants to make? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion to adopt the November 16th, 2020 minutes as written.
So moved.
The second? Okay. A roll call vote. Matt Planchi.
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay. Brian Black. John Burt. John Burt.
Yes.
Bob Lohman.
Yes.
Bob Tuffer.
Yes.
And John McDonough votes yes. Okay, that's it on the minutes. Mr. Town Manager, do you have anything? Anything else?
I do not, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
I have a question.
You go ahead.
Either you or Jim, I don't have minutes. There wasn't a package downstairs for me. I haven't got hard copies on anything for this week. Nothing.
Okay.
So,
For tonight's.
the town manager asked me if I wanted a book. I really didn't because I'm trying to do everything on the computer, but it appears that I'm going to need a book anyway.
Let me get it to you, Bob.
Are you going to have a vote?
Come on, Mr. Town Manager, you can help him out with it. Everyone should get a chance to look at Bob Tufford's city observations on the CIP plan. Everyone see this?
Bob, did you send that to me?
I sent it to John and Leanne to be filtered out. I didn't want it to be an unofficial meeting. But I'm open to it if you want.
I would say that, so if you want to send it along, that'd be great.
And I'd like it too, Bob.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about this in another meeting, Bob. Is that what the consensus is?
That's fine with me.
I couldn't hear what the selectman said. Okay. You couldn't hear what they said.
John the Celeb, Linda and I have not received a copy of the document. If we have, then I apologize for not finding it. So Mr. Tuffer gracefully agreed to send it to Linda and myself.
Okay, so when we'll talk about this the next meeting that we have after the holiday.
Okay.
That'll be you, Bob?
Sure.
Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use going to Shay, who's over here. He's the newly elected representative for Wolfeboro County District 6. We wanted to say hi to everybody.
No, I'm on.
All right, anything else? Anything else? Okay, let's do a motion to...
What?
Brian Black? John Burke? Yes. Paul Loman? Yes. Paul Tuffer?
Yes.
And John McDonough votes yes. And I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and that you stay safe and wear your mask and social distance and all that stuff to protect yourself and your family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.